So you only had like 3 questions to do, and they all dealt with MAD, mean absolute deviation. Okay, so it's more of a procedural thing, right, than anything else. But I hope you understood that one of the things that MAD measure is the spread of the data and consistency, I guess. So let's plot each of these numbers on a number line. It's asking you to do that, and I think that gives you a visual, which is always a good thing. So 84, I'm going to put a little X or put a dot. 84, 72, 90, 76, 88 for Jill, 91. What are we measuring here? Are these test scores? Yes. So here are the test scores for a quiz, and we want to find the mean, right? So let's find the mean. So the mean of this particular class, I don't even know if you can call it a class because they're so tiny. So enter, so 581, and if you divide that by 7, you get 83. So the average score in this class was 83. Can I use the mean? I think I can use a mean because I don't think there's any outliers. So at the average here would be okay to use to represent this class. So let's find the MAD, right? And in order to find the MAD, we have to subtract. So I'm gonna take advantage of this. All right, and subtract 83. And depending on if 83 is higher or lower, I put it on the top and the bottom because I don't want to deal with any negative numbers, right? So let's go that. 84 minus 3 is 1. This would be 11. This would be 7. 83 minus 76 is 7 again. 5. And what is this? 8. And 3. So what we need to do is add those, right? Add all those differences. And I'm going to put those values here. So it's 1, 11, 7, 7, 5, 8, and 3. So to find the MAD, we add all those numbers. So 1 plus 11 plus 7 plus 7 plus 5 plus 8 plus 3, and that's going to give me 42. And we divide it by, again, by what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And we divide this by 7. So the MAD here is 6, which is not that bad, right? I don't know if they're that spread out. Well, what was the mean? Let me put the mean. What was the mean? 83. So let me go back to this graph here. And on top of 83, I'm going to, let me choose a different color. Here. So how far is everyone from 83? All right, some kids, well, the kid that took 84 and the 80, they're really close. The kid's 88 is not that far. But in average, they're 6 units away from, 83. Okay, and that's basically what MAD is measuring, is asking you to do, okay? I'll do the second one. Temperatures in 8 Canadian cities are recorded on the table below. Ooh, this deals with negative numbers. Okay, so you have to be really, really careful when you're adding these. So we have, again, negative 9, 3, 12, negative 10, 7, negative 1, 5, and 1. There's 1. Right, so let's add those, and please make sure you add the negative 9 there. Negative 9 plus 3 plus 12 plus negative 10 plus 7 plus negative 1 plus 5 plus 1. That's going to give me a total of 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 divided by 8. So the average temperature was 1 degree. So I'm going to put a little star on top of the 1 here. This looks like the MAD's going to be a little bit bigger. Not like bigger. I mean, I can't compare it to the previous problem because they have no relationship. But it's going to be I don't think I am going to expect a low MAD. I mean, they don't look like they're very close except for these numbers. But the other ones are far away that they're going to make up for how close these are to 1. So let's find the distance. So again, this one I'm not going to actually put in the 1 under it, and I'm just going to go, how far is negative 10 to 1? If you were at negative 10 and you had to walk to 1, that'd be 11 paces, right? Negative 9 to 1, how far is that? That's 10. How far is negative 1 to 1? That's 2 units. How far is 1 to 1? Don't forget that one. 0. How far is 3 to 1? 2. How far is 5 to 1? 4. And how far is 7 to 1? 6. And finally, how far is 12 to 1, which is 11. Okay. And be careful when you did not negative values, right? Negative numbers, because remember, distance can't be negative. Okay. So if we have this 12, so we have to add all that, 11 plus 10 plus 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 4 plus 6 plus 11, it would give you a total of 46, right? So if I add all those numbers, 46, and when I divide it by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and the math for this one would be 5.75. Okay, so here, what you really have to be careful is when you did negative 10 and find the difference between negative 10 and 1. Okay, that distance, and the distance between negative 9 and 1, and the distance between negative 1 and 1, because it was a negative number there. Okay. So one thing you could have done here, right, it's, let's say, and I'm going to erase everything. I'll leave that 1 here. So if you want to find the distance between these two, right, between negative 10 and 1, you can break it up into 2 parts. So you can say the absolute value of negative 10 plus the absolute value of 1. So you want to break it up into 2 parts. What's its distance, first of all? If you were negative 10 and you had to walk to 0, isn't that the absolute value of negative 10? So from negative 10 to 0, that would be 10 paces. Plus, from 0 to 1, right, the second part, what's the distance between 0 to 1? It's the absolute value of 1, right? So we write that, and then we end up having 10 plus 11, which is 10 plus 1, which is 11. Remember, absolute value can't be negative, so that makes sense, right? So when you're finding that distance, you might want to use this method right here. Okay, and likewise, I'll do another one just in case. So again, our mean was 1. I'll put a little star over here. And the temperature was negative 9. So how far is negative 9 to 1? You might want to break this into 2 parts. Find your distance from negative 9 to 0. Oops. Negative 9 all the way to 0 first. And that can be represented by this. Right? The distance isn't absolute value measuring the distance a number is from 0. So, and then we're going to add to that the distance from 0 to 1. And we can write it in this way, the absolute value of 1. Well, the absolute value of 9 is just 9, because negative 9 is 9 distance, 9 units away from 0. Plus, what's the absolute value of 0 to 1? The distance between 0 to 1, which is 1. So that's 10, and that's how I got the 10 right here. Right? So that's it. Again, just going over that part. So again, so I did all that. I found that the average distance was 46 divided by 8, and the MAD was 5.75. Third one. Okay, so these are the average number of yards a quarterback gained or lost on 6 plays, on 6 consecutive plays. Okay, so on the first one, he gained 7 yards, so he went forward 7 yards. Then he lost -4. Then he went 24. Then he went only 3. Then he lost 5 yards, and then he gained 11 yards. So again, you can tell the well, I don't know what the MAD is, but sorry, let's find the mean first. So again, -5 plus -4 plus 3 plus 7 plus 11 plus 24. So the mean is 36, and we're dividing that by 6, so 6. So on average, it says that this quarterback, he moves forward 6 yards. That's what this is saying. On average, that he moves the ball forward 6 yards on every play that he does. That's what it means. Okay, so let's find the distance. So again, we have to subtract 6 from all of this, so it's -6, right? We're going to subtract all that. So just be careful with your negative numbers. Wondering if, okay, so 7 to 6, so the first number is actually next to -5. So how, wait, sorry. Let me put here a little star over here, because that's my mean. That's what I meant to do before. So how far is each of these points, right, these blue dots, away from that star, which is in this case represents the number 6. So how far is -5 from 6? Well, -5 to 6 is 11, right? -5 to 0 is 5, and then 0 to 6 is 6, so 5 plus 6 is 11. How far is -4 to 6? That would be 10 units. How far is 3 to 6? 3 units. How far is 7 to 6? 1 unit. How far is 11 to 6? That's 5 units. And how far is 24 to 6? That would be 18 units. Let's add them up. 10 plus 3 plus 1 plus 5 plus 18. That gives me 48. Divided by 6 again, it means that my MAD is 8. And you can see that the MAD is not a small number because they're not that close to the mean, right? So they're kind of far away except for these 3 numbers. Okay, so basically that was MAD. Okay, and then I guess this was nice because they had negative numbers and you have to be really, really careful with your negatives. Okay, and that's that.